I heard a teacher the other day talking about the idea of just stopping for a second and bringing the mind to rest, just for 4 or 5 seconds, and seeing what arises. Well, this is a mind game. This is like telling someone to not think about the color green. Try as hard as you can not to think about the color green. This is a psychological game. This is not spirituality. Spirituality is about grace. Grace is what calls you in the first place to seek. And grace is what finally is there when realization takes place. Grace is what's all around you. Grace is what you are. And it's not something you can make happen. All you can do is empty yourself. And when I say empty yourself, I mean get over yourself. It used to be very popular in the 60s, 70s, and I guess even into the 80s for psychologists to tell people to nurture yourself, take care of yourself, think about yourself, love yourself first. Well, the reality is, you'll always love yourself first. You're the one, that's why that I am. That's why you are, why you see yourself as an individual person, is because you love yourself above all else. The only way to follow grace, the only way to get over yourself, is to start getting involved with others. Volunteer for a homeless shelter. Volunteer to work with the developmentally disabled. Do something in your life that takes you completely away from yourself and into the problems and the lives of someone else. This is what grace leads you to do. It's a circular thing. Grace calls you. Grace gives to you. And you need to give back so that the circle is complete. It's not a question of simple self-inquiry. Self-inquiry frequently turns into nothing but self-indulgence. Simply thinking about myself. Talking about letting emotions float through and watching them. Very, very, very self-indulgent behavior, that is. Experiencing the emotions is fine. Experiencing the emotions is a great thing to do, but you can experience the emotions that you feel with others, the emotions that happen in life as a whole. People around you die. People around you are hurt. People around you are suffering. And you can excuse that and you can say, well, the suffering is in my mind. I'm seeing the suffering so that it has to do with me. But if there isn't a call there for you to go out and leave that suffering, to remove that suffering, to be there at least with that suffering, then it's selfishness. So many people, and teachers in particular, they'll sit around and have satsang, and everybody will laugh and have a great time and enjoy themselves. This is so self-indulgent. This is so personally satisfying, perhaps, but that's what it is. It's personally satisfying. Being part of the world, being part of what is, that's what grace calls you to do. Grace is what makes for becoming again as little children. And that doesn't mean becoming some innocent, becoming some child that you remember in your mind, or creating some idea in your mind of what that is. That's the same as this idea of letting the mind rest. Let's think emptiness, so the mind imagines emptiness, the mind imagines nothingness. This is silly. It's the mind working, just creating things. To become as a little child is to go beyond the mind, to see the sky without reference to atmosphere or even the color blue. To look at the grass wave without thinking about what waving is, without thinking about what green is. This is what grace calls you to do. To be so immersed in life that you're not thinking about yourself, you're just immersed in life. This is what spirituality is about. It's not about sitting around in a group, playing mind games and having wonderful exercises and having a good laugh. Laughter is certainly part of life, but so is pain, so is sorrow, so is grief. So I would say, if I was to recommend a practice, certainly self-inquiry is a fine practice. Looking at love, how it functions, what it is, these are fine things, but you need to move beyond the mind and put those things into practice. Spirituality has to be alive. Non-duality has to be living. It has to be living every second. If it's not, then it's just a dead practice in the mind, entertaining, but not loving. Peace.